Well, Chris,
well, listen, Mark, listen, hold on. When I say, would you have caffeine today?
What the hell is that up to with anything?
How much coffee did you drink before the show?
Listen, you can't polish a sneaker, right? throw tomatoes at me, do whatever you're going to do.
Welcome into Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. I'm Chris Corso. Right over there is Mark Catone, and we are presented by the Pats Nation, the only Patriots postgame show worth watching. Mark and I, 30 minutes following every Patriots game. So listen, if you want to see us, make sure you log in to YouTube, type in Corso and Catone, and give us that thumbs up and subscribe. And listen, if you can only listen to us, then make sure you get on iTunes, the iHeart app, and Podbean. Again, put in Corso and Catone, and then you will find so many ways, Mark. Right? So many ways.
You don't even know. You're just reading things. You don't even know.
Okay, because you have all that stuff, right? You got it all tied in, don't you? Right? So,
oh yeah.
Well, how about this one? Check us out on Twitter at Corso_Catone, at Corso_Catone. This is one Mark really knows about, which is the heated hotline. Give us a call, 855-313-PATS. Give us a call, 24/7. Leave a message. Joe's going to go through all of those. Give us your take. Give us a good take. It doesn't matter what it's about. Just give us a take. Mark and I will talk about it. And the one Joe chooses could be yours. So 855-313-7287. So, Mark, you seem revved and ready to go today.
Oh, I'm ready today. Absolutely.
Good, because we got, again, heated hotline, B's and C's today, and, of course, Catone's comments. And listen, we're going to be breaking down the Patriots-Browns game, which tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. So, Mark, how about some heated hotline? What? You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do heated hotline. Joe. Hotline.
What the hell with Odell Beckham?
That was it. I love the simplicity and the beauty of that. That was I lost. I almost fell off the chair when that one happened.
That actually that says it all.
Yeah, that woke me up. I can tell you that. They didn't know. Listen, you know what I love about it? No name.
Nothing.
No name, where it's from, nothing like that. So we'll just say, I don't know, Mark, what do you want to call her? Just pissed off caller. How about that?
Listen, she fits the real deal New England feel.
That's who we are.
Right? That's perfect for our show, Chris.
It is. So, Mark, OBJ, come on. Odell Beckham Jr., why isn't he a Patriot?
You're really going to ask me that?
Well, I have to ask you that because they want to know. Everybody waits a week, Mark, to hear why you think, what you think and why.
Oh, that's a scary thought, by the way. But anyways, so, Chris, listen, it's typical Patriots over the last, 4 or 5 years. Yeah, I understand they took a chance on Antonio Brown, but that was kind of like a last-ditch effort, I think, to try to keep somebody else here. They just don't seem, Chris, to be able to get those players. They don't. I don't know if it's they don't want to spend the money. The other issue, I think, Chris, is they don't value that position. If he was a defensive end, maybe a different position type of a player, a tight end, they just don't seem to value, and we've been talking about this over and over to nauseum, they don't seem to value the wide receiver position. And Beckham, Chris, wanted to go to a Super Bowl contender, which, let's face it, we're playing much better, but we're not Super Bowl contenders yet, right? So we may be a fringe playoff team. Maybe you sneak in, maybe you get in, maybe you win a game, or you lose first game out, whatever. But we're not going to be at the end a Super Bowl team. So that's what he chose, right? That's what he chose. But I still think it goes back to, Chris, we don't value the position, and we don't know how to evaluate the position, and that goes back to the coach, the head coach, and that is my pet peeve with this guy, and you know it is, Chris.
Intelligence needs to allow for a change, right? the more you start to learn about things, the more you start to see things evolve. And, what pisses me off, Mark, is, you know what? Without saying anything, the caller's dead on. Okay?
Of course.
Look, as I said, intelligence allows for a change. The one thing you could always have said about Belichick, and I think prided himself on, is the fact that he changes with the time. He becomes the innovator. He becomes the one that sees
Chris,
things
he hasn't
coming
been the innovator in a while.
in a long time. And to not be able to see that that's a position that's, and on the offense, that's next to the quarterback now. That's it. Is the wide receiver spot. Is the one. The X. The guy on the outside. That's why they get all the money. And he's just reluctant to see that that's the case. And the evaluation of that, as you say, the speed. They just won't put it's an athletic position. It's athleticism, it's speed, and they won't get that, and they won't put it on the field. So
they did. They went and got Aguilar. Stiff. You want to talk about a Sunday stiff? He's a Sunday stiff.
I disagree, Mark. Aguilar is one of the best receivers in football.
Yeah.
He is. Anywhere else. So look, I'm with you, Mark. It is. That's what it is. And the two things need to happen. One of two things. Like you've been talking about, Belichick's got to go. The whole regime go. Get new blood in. A McVay. I keep saying a McVay. Somebody like that. That's eager, hungry, is willing to change with the times, sees the way things are. As a younger dude, guys can relate better to him. Isn't such a disciplinarian. Lets guys, gives them the rope a little bit more. Then I think it's more appealing because, Mark, the mindset, well, okay, what's Kraft and Belichick's mindset at this point? Do they still believe? Do they really believe that this is a destination for guys trying to make their next contract and prove it?
Chris, I think in Belichick's mind, because because of his ego, he still thinks that this is a destination place. He absolutely does. I don't know. Kraft, Chris, I don't know what Kraft is thinking. I mean, just the mere fact that he let number 12 walk out the damn door, I don't know what he's thinking. But I do know they have to change their business philosophy in the running of this team, Chris, because you just said wide receiver is like quarterback now. Well, that's a problem because that means, Chris, they're going to have that real money, that guaranteed real money. We talk about quarterbacks. We talk about they're the position that gets real money, right?
Yeah,
you can play around with the salary cap and you can do whatever you want with the salary cap, and teams are doing it all over the league. It seems like, except the Patriots. But when it comes to those positions, now that's real money for the wide receiver, Chris. You can't play around with that anymore. So it seems like that's not a position they're going to do that with. They don't want to do that. Right?
Then they're going to lag
goes
behind.
Right back to Belichick and Kraft. He's bought into that mindset and that business philosophy because it's worked all these years. But Jesus Christ, it's not going to work anymore because you don't have the same roster and the same team to make
then
that
they're going to
work.
just sniff around at the playoffs every year. Mac Jones. How's Mac Jones going to improve with that kind of talent? You can only get to a certain point. And then
is that Chris okay? Are they okay with sniffing around and being respectable and maybe getting into the playoffs and winning a game or losing a game? I don't know.
That Red Sox, like that Red Sox mentality of, we're just going to be Tampa now. That's it. We're going to,
Yeah,
we're not
going to
be
Kraft okay with that now?
I don't think so. I mean, he's never been okay with it unless he's getting to such an advanced age that his son doesn't get it. Perhaps. I don't know, but I could tell you this: they established an expectation with the fans of winning. That's what they wanted. That's what they've always wanted, and now they expect it, and they're not giving it.
No,
so I said the two ways. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Well, the other way, Mark. I said there's two ways it can be done. Otherwise, you bring somebody in your staff that attracts free agents, and who do I love? Who do I want them?
Well, that ain't gonna happen. He's about to. He's on the verge of getting a job at a Big 12 program. I think he's gonna go to. He may go to TCU, and if he goes to TCU, that'll catapult him into the NFL after that if he wins there.
We're talking
as a
about
head coach. As a head coach.
Yeah, we're talking about Deion Sanders because I think everything he touches just turns to gold, in my opinion.
And they should have did that 2 years ago when you said bring him in as like a wide receivers coach, not even a DB coach.
Right.
And they didn't do anything like that, right? He when Brady was here, he would have loved to have come on this staff because he loved Brady. But you know, listen, Chris, we don't need him. We got Steve Belichick. His son.
Listen, Mark.
His son's name's Steve, right?
Yeah, I don't know, mullet man.
But I don't know. We got him.
But listen, so lastly on this, Mark, then before we move on to B's and C's, two things. One, it's amazing, Mark, how they're seen now. Even by the local media, everybody just automatically assumes, hey, you come on here, play the rest of the year, and then go make your money elsewhere. It isn't even a consideration that the Patriots may extend somebody or pay them themselves. It's automatically thought they'll come here, build their career, build themselves up again, and then go elsewhere. What the frig, Mark? Why aren't we the team they're going elsewhere to or staying?
Again, Chris, because it's their business philosophy that Belichick has developed along with Kraft. J.C. Jackson, what are they going to do with him? Are they going to sign him? Or they're going to now let him leave and try to bring in another undrafted free agent to become the next J.C. Jackson, Malcolm Butler, okay, yeah, fine. You can do that. But Jesus, Jackson was allowed to develop because you had a shutdown corner on the other side. You spent money on Gilmore originally. You're going to have to spend money on Jackson. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, and I mean, like I took guys like McVay. Look what they're doing over there. They signed Beckham. Oh, he's the number 3 over there. That's the atmosphere they got going. They didn't win a championship.
They brought in Von Miller.
Von Miller. Stafford isn't Brady, but they got that established because McVay's got that juice. He's got that energy. Guys want to be there. Plus, it's L.A.
Well, that doesn't hurt either. You're out in L.A., right? So they're gonna now it's almost becoming like, if you watch their home games, the Rams home games, Chris, it's almost becoming like the Lakers, where they got the stars now in the suites and they're drinking and they're partying, and so it's kind of become a destination place now. You're right, for players, it's almost becoming like the Lakers.
How stupid, though? How stupid? Lastly, on OBJ. How stupid are the local people to say, the local media people to be like, I don't want any part of this guy. Yeah. I don't want any part of this
who said that? The guy with the creamsicle sweatshirt.
You don't want any part of a guy. Let me understand something. Well, he's too selfish. He wants the ball too much. Oh, I'm sorry. He walks on the team. He's immediately your best threat. He's your best weapon on the offense. You don't want him to want the ball? Yeah, I'll gladly listen to that guy bitch and complain to get the ball, and I'll put the ball in his hands. Rather than, so what do you want to do? You want to make it fair and spread the ball onto Aguilar, Myers, and Bourne? Get the hell out of here. Put Beckham on the team, throw him the goddamn ball, and let him go. Don't give me I don't want anything to do with that guy. He's a bad seed. God, screw that, Mark, right?
Yeah. Well, Chris, listen, here's the thing, right? All you had to do was watch Jones in college, Chris, and see what he did with those Alabama receivers.
Oh,
I mean, so the kid's letting you know already, if you surround me with guys that can get open, he throws a great deep ball. He shows you that, Chris. He's got a heck of a touch on the ball. He can put it over guys. He puts the ball where it's supposed to be. Now he just needs weapons. Surround him with guys like he had at Alabama, and he'll sling the ball all over the goddamn field. But you got slugs out there. You got Jacoby Myers, undrafted. Nelson Aguilar, stiff. You got Bourne. Okay, he's a 3 or 4 receiver. That's all he is. Wait a minute. Your buddy from the Pac-10, who I'm not even going to mention his goddamn name, and you spent $100 million.
He's a number 8. He's like an 8.
And you spent $100 million on tight ends. One of them, I don't even know if he forgot. Jonnu Smith, I think, forgot how to play football.
Yeah. So listen, that Joe, obviously that heated call was probably one of the best ones we ever had because we spent the most amount of time on it. So
short, sweet, no name, no place that they're from. I love it. I love those.
So nice job in selecting that. We'll just call her heated caller. So Heated Hotline was presented by Jag Media Productions. Mark, we ready for some B's and C's?
Yes.
All right, Joe, B's and C's. Nice. That's a nice little jam right there. Love it. So listen, it's 4-2 right now, and about 7 minutes left in the game. The Bruins are up on the New Jersey Devils right now. So Mark, let's get into some of this. So let's get into some Bruins talk right now, because this game, all the things I was gonna rip them about, they're kind of fixing some of it in this game. I mean, you got some guys right now that got on the board. Some of the secondary guys that are assisting and scoring goals today, because the other night was a disaster. Mark, did you see the turnover, Carlo? I mean,
Chris, but this is what the Bruins do, Chris, every year, right?
And they blew the lead twice in that game too, by the way.
They did. And Chris, what do you think though about the goaltending? I want to use your line, the eye test. I'm not going by their goals against, because that's easy to right.
I don't know. I mean, I think Swayman. I think they screwed up giving that Mark all that money. And I think they know they did. Yeah. Because now they're just trying to force that guy, into playing, and he was playing the other night when that disaster happened. Now, Swayman's playing today. And I just like him. I like him better. I think he's one of the best young goaltenders in the league. He's got 27 saves today. He allowed 2. Now I wasn't able. We were getting ready, so I wasn't able to see, what those goals were like. He's a 9.26 save. I know you don't want to deal with the numbers, but I like Swayman. I want to see him play, and I just don't understand why they needed to give that guy $5 million a year. It didn't make any sense to me. Why that was happening. But I don't know, Mark. Is Sweeney?
I was just going to say to you, you bring that up. So is Sweeney getting like Danny Ainge was? Is it time to move on from Sweeney? Because, Chris, you look at a couple of their signings, right? And then you look at the development of some of these younger guys that they've drafted, right? Their drafts have not been good. I mean, they other teams, Chris, have drafted after the Bruins and have got guys making serious contributions on their teams. And the guys the Bruins have, they've had a couple of guys, McAvoy and those guys, but for the most part, Chris, the depth that you need, lines 3, 4, and even guys that can filter into 4 when you have injuries, that depth isn't there. And that comes from drafts. That comes from your draft, because hockey, the salary cap and the money you spend on free agents, it's not like the other sports. So you need to build your depth for those lines and for injuries through the draft and be able to play with those guys. And Sweeney, I think, Chris, has done a poor job at that.
Yeah, at the farm system. Now, today, they had a couple of guys. Okay, so you got Langenbrunner down. It's funny because I listened to the national broadcast a little bit today, and they're giving Langenbrunner down there in Providence lots of props, lots of credit. Okay, Swayman, he's a homegrown guy. Blythe, he's a homegrown guy. He's got 1 assist today. Coleman's got 1 assist today. He's a homegrown. Hola is another one. He's got a goal today. But before today.
No, but they're inconsistent, Chris. Before today, you're right. They're very inconsistent. Yeah, okay, they did that today. Now, you won't hear from them for another 3-4 games, though.
Right. And
if they can do that every game, I'll take it back. Keep Sweeney. But I just don't see it.
DeBrusk still sucks.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
that's a free agent signing you used. You can't use free agents, like you say, to fill your 3rd and 4th line.
No,
it shouldn't happen. And
hockey's not built that way, Chris.
No, they're just not down low. They're just not good enough. They're not good enough down low in front of the goalie. They're not. Look what Carlo did. I know it was a screw up. And as soon as he saw what he turned, and as soon as he saw the captain there, those guys are going to bury those goals for Edmonton. You give him the puck like that. So it's just not acceptable. You're right. Sweeney.
I don't know, Chris. I think at some point you're going to have to, it may be like a Danny Ainge. Okay, it's time maybe for him to move on, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because some of these guys are old in the tooth. They don't have defensive depth. McAvoy's McAvoy, but God damn.
Chris, wait until that group goes. The guys that are a little old in the tooth. What the hell do you got for replacements?
They're gonna have a lot of issues. Bergeron put the 4th goal on the board, by the way.
They're gonna have a lot of issues, Chris, when those guys go.
They are. So again, they need to get better out in front of the goalie, obviously, and they gotta start to work on what's happening down in Providence too. So, Mark, switching over to the Celtics quickly. Look, it was a good win. Okay, it was a good win
You're talking about last night.
last night.
Yep.
Okay, but do you feel good about it?
Chris,
It
was a good win. Milwaukee had how many guys out? How many guys out did they have?
That's what I'm saying. I say it's a good win in the standings. That's all I mean. It's a good win in the standings.
Aren't they still in last place?
But I mean, you're beating a team that's above you. Shut up. You're beating a team that's above you. That's all I mean. It's a good win. Hey, look, right now, any win's a good win.
No, you're right. You did beat a team that's above you, even though their roster was a little bit depleted last night. You did beat a team.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Without those guys,
you beat the defending NBA champions. So hang your hat on that.
Sort of. But without those guys, Mark, should that game have gone into overtime?
No, it should have been a blowout last night. They should have blew that team out. Chris, there's something not right with this team. There's something not right. Listen, we've been talking about this, you and I, Chris, week after week. They're going to have to pull the damn trigger. Something significant has to be done with this team, with this roster. Maybe you got to get rid of one of those big two guys. I don't know which one. Get rid of Marcus Smart. I just think Marcus Smart is a bad egg. I think he ran his mouth off that day. Listen. I think the team, the players tolerate him. There's no chemistry at all with this team, Chris. It's just none. You watch this team play, then go watch a team like Golden State play, Chris, right? And Golden State, they have Curry, but look at their role players, Chris. They got guys that aren't superstars on that team right now.
You don't have to go to there. You can go to Milwaukee and see that.
No, I know.
They won a championship like that.
There's no chemistry on this team, Chris. And listen, the roster, Danny Ainge, I'm glad he left because this roster, he handcuffed Stevens. Yes, Stevens took over, but Stevens was handcuffed because of the contract obligations, the money you've spent, the draft picks you've wasted. Like the construction of this roster, Chris, is horrible. Yeah. Absolutely horrible. The back end of this roster is probably one of the worst in the NBA. And you wonder why they're not winning. Jesus Christ, look at the guys that come off the bench.
Right. Yeah, now, you can look at last night. You could say I things I liked I saw last night because Mark, to your point, Milwaukee won a championship like that with role guys. You know what Milwaukee reminded me of, other than the other, the big three thing. They reminded me a lot of the Celtics in 08 when they had those role guys, House and Posey and those guys you're talking about, which is Holiday and those guys over there. Holiday's a bigger
Chris,
player.
Yes, we had the big three, but we won the championship that year. You're absolutely right, Chris, because of Posey and House. Those guys had huge games and big key playoff games.
So again, guys like Scal, guys, the scrappy guys that get it done. So I liked what Schroeder did last night. I liked what Williams did. I liked how he looked. And Smart. Listen, Smart played well last night. But again, Tatum. Again, he's got the ball. Did you see that pitiful last shot that he?
Listen, Chris. I don't know what that was. I listen. Then he loses the ball, right? He listen.
Just looked awkward. Mark,
guys, that's not. Listen, a guy taking a shot like that should be like a Bradley Beal, which we don't have. A Damian Lillard, one of those guys that can dribble the ball. Lose a guy off the dribble, pull up, take a fall away jump. That's not Tatum. That's not Tatum. They're trying to force him to do something he's not comfortable doing.
And I don't agree with Stevens going to Brown and saying, hey, nothing doing on that trade for Simmons. Don't worry about it. Stop kissing their ass.
Exactly.
Stop kissing their ass because, Mark, these two guys can't play together. That's it.
Chris,
I've come
maybe
to that
if you got them a little worked up and say, yeah, you know what? We're exploring all options to make this team better.
All options to make the team better.
Yes.
Look, these two guys can't play together. It's it. That's it. That's the bottom line, period. Can't play together. Never going to be able to play together. They don't work off each other at all. It's all individual. There's no pick and roll with those two guys.
That's the only thing, Chris, I'll say. And granted, he has struggled the last couple of years with his decisions too. But that's the one thing I am going to give Brian Cashman from the Yankees credit for. Whenever they ask him, he says, we're always trying to make this team better. And nothing, there's nothing off the table. We're always looking to make our team better if something develops or something approaches us.
Well, they're the New York Yankees. They always have that juice to be able to say that, right?
Yeah.
Well, you're the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, he still says it.
I mean, you're the Boston Celtics.
Come
They're
on.
one of the most storied franchises in basketball. So what? You can't say that. Like you're right. Management isn't good right now, and it's trickling down to the players. They need to bring Garnett. They need to bring Garnett back and give him a position that he's with the team. Okay, give him a couple points on the team. Let him own some piece of it, and put him in their face, just like you said last week, Mark. Garnett would never tolerate this crap. Ever.
No.
Give him a special position on the field. So we went long, but B's and C's are presented by Special Sauce Podcast, Startup, Finance, and Drive Yourself to Success. Listen, when we come back, it's all of what you're waiting for, what you're always waiting for. Catone's Comments is next.
Today, I'm going to get into something, and then I'm actually going to talk about something that I want Chris to respond to. But so last week, I started to talk about, and then I kind of got into something else. But so I'm so fed up. Listen, medically, I'm on all kind of pills, medication. Chris knows this. Joe knows it, right? We have a local pharmacy over here. I'll call them right out. I really don't care. CVS pharmacy. I don't care. I call. You do the automated. You try to punch it. You say, punch in your RX code and your date of birth. Okay. I punch it in. What's your name? I give him my name. No good. Invalid. What? Invalid. RX code. Date of birth. Maybe I don't know my date of birth. I know I'm a little wacky, but Jesus, I know my date of birth. Name? No. Okay. Now you're going to hit 0. You're going to talk to somebody. Okay, I'll hit 0. I give them all the information. Now you're going to hit 0. Okay, I hit 0. Yep. Okay. 5 minutes, 10, 15, 20, 25, 45, 50 minutes. I'm on the phone waiting. Nothing. You can't get anybody to answer the goddamn phone. I'm on the ground dying. I'm going to have a heart attack. I need my pills. Nobody answers the phone for the prescription. So now, finally, I get through. I go through everything. Oh, I don't know why it didn't fill it automatically on the phone. I don't know either, ma'am. I don't know. I'm not a computer tech. I don't work for you people. I need the prescription filled. Okay, we'll fill it. Yep, they fill it. They fill 2 prescriptions. No problem. Okay, when's that going to be ready? Oh, we'll be ready in a couple of hours. All right, wonderful. I go about my day. I go there later on at night to pick up the prescriptions. I get there. There's nobody in the drive-thru's closed because, they don't have any workers. Drive-thru closed. Big sign closed. I got to go in this place. I don't want to go in the place because I don't want to. You know how I am when I got to go in these places. I got to go in and get the prescription. Okay. I get there. I'm in line. There's nobody there. There's nobody in front of me. Nobody. I'm the only one there. I said, but where is everybody? There's nobody here? Some little lady comes walking from behind the counter. She's giving somebody a flu shot, something. I don't know. Some guy sitting there. He looks like he ain't slept in 4 days. She's giving him a flu shot. Okay. She's talking to the guy about this and that. I'm waiting 5 minutes, 10 minutes, almost 15 minutes. She rubs his arm. You okay? You need a glass of orange juice, all this stuff. Now she comes back. She says, oh, I'll be with you momentarily. You know, I'm giving flu shots. I'm doing this. I'm the only one here. I said, oh, really? Why are you giving a flu shot? Hey, tell them you're short-handed. You're going to take care of customers. Schedule the flu shots when you have people on staff. Please. I get to the counter. I give her my name, date of birth, all this stuff. Guess what? Prescription's not ready. Of course it's not ready. I said, ma'am, I called. I spoke to somebody. I said, how is it not ready? I said, I need the medication. Well, give me 10 minutes. She said, I'll fill it. Okay, you fill it. Yep. All right. Fills it. Boom. I got prescription coverage, this and that. It's supposed to cost me like $8 for the two medications, right? She comes back. She says, $88. I said, $88? I said, for what? I said, what did I buy? Did I buy something? Maybe I bought something. I don't know what I did over here. She says, no, for the 2 prescriptions. I said, no. I said, I paid like $8. I said, I know 88. I said, where'd you get 88 from? I said, what are you kidding me? 88.
Maybe she got the 8 confused with the decimal point.
Yeah, no. Rung up on the computer. $88. Now she goes in. We rang it. We I don't know what we did. She said we put it through something else, this and that. Okay, ma'am, listen. Give me the goddamn pills and straighten this out, please. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. She fixes it. I paid the $8. I leave. For a prescription. All to get a prescription because I'm not a healthy man. I need my medication. This is every single time I try to fill medication. This is every single month I go through this. This is for 10, 12 pills. Every month I go through the same damn thing. Every month. Now, I know Chris has a similar story about going to the car wash this week. He had a wonderful trip to the car wash, which I'm not even going to get into.
We're gonna have to save that for next week. We're gonna have to save that one. We're so far over.
Trip to the car wash.
Listen, well, first of all, Joe, whatever he's taking isn't enough.
Seriously, right?
I don't know what you're taking up, man, but you gotta
But this works beautifully because
the dosage.
I found something that for when you were talking about Deion Sanders earlier, I'm like, oh, I got to find this because this would be perfect.
Sick,
and then Mark's Catone's comments just now. I found this beauty. I don't know if you guys even ever heard this, but
you have Mark's medication. You went and took it from them.
I probably should.
You paid the $8.
Ready? Does anybody remember this one?
I do.
Sanders song. I love
You
it.
got to tell everybody, Joe.
I love it.
That? What
that
is
was
it?
Deion Sanders. That's a song he came out with somewhere in the 90s. Must Be the Money by Deion Sanders, which was perfect for Catone's comments right now early.
The $88 for the prescription. Mark,
perfect.
So where are you getting? Where are you getting these? I mean, you going to like Delta Drug on Smith Street to get these things?
Delta Drug. How long's it been since you've been in Rhode Island? Delta Drug. Delta Drug. That ain't been in years.
That's my point. Where the hell are you going to get this stuff? Don't you have a phone call that they give you to say your prescription is ready? I mean, don't they do that?
Yeah, they do that. Then you go pick it up. It's not ready, Chris.
I tell you what, though, the one thing I will say is them. At least the ones I go to, because we go to like 3 different places, because like they're cheaper in certain places. One place may be $4, the other one's like $44. So they're the one place I go. They're so mean. They're just mean, Joe, Mark, mean. So like you walk up. I don't know if they're not used to hearing anybody say, "How was your day? How are you doing today?" They just look at you. Back to the thing, poking the thing, and they're miserable, mean, rotten. They don't care. They just they throw the pills at you. Got any questions? I didn't think so. Click off, done. Yeah, Mark, I don't know, man. Listen, whatever you. All I want to do is send me all your prescriptions, Joe. We need to go through them and check the dosage of everything.
No, bottom line, no.
Whatever's combining together is making him not right.
No. Bottom line is, Chris, this is an extension of the fact that I cannot physically go into any type of store, place, nothing. Nothing. None of those. I can't go to any
keep
of those
telling you
places.
that. Get your renovation finished so you cannot ever leave your home. You can't leave.
You know, I can't.
You can't be around people. You certainly can't drive around people. We've heard that.
Forget that.
Next week next week we'll talk about. No, next week we have too much stuff. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, I got to talk about that car wash story because that's crazy what happened to me yesterday. Holy crap. Anyway, Catone's Comments was presented by Corso Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and traffic firm. CorsoLawGroup.com. Allow us to be your voice. When we come back, Patriots preview of the Browns game tomorrow as they come to town. Right after this.
It's that time again for a timeout for a message from one of our sponsors. No one ever thinks they will be in the need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Corso Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Their 20-plus years experience and attention to detail has helped thousands of people all across this great country who found themselves in a situation in Arizona. So whether it's a traffic ticket or if you need reduced DUI or more serious issues, call or go online to CorsoLawGroup.com and talk with these expert attorneys who I know will help you. Corso Law Group.
Back in with Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel, and your home for all prescription needs of any type. Just go ahead and email us,
just can't give me a break, Joe.
Corso.Catone@gmail.com. Email us, ask for Mark specifically. He'll fill all the prescriptions you need. He'll give you that nice automated system. Say, your prescription's ready. Pick it up. That'll be like
can't. You know what? Please. Yeah, I'll be like, remember back in the 80s, early 90s? Remember, Joe?
I told you, Delta Drug. Of course I remember back in the 80s.
Yeah, Delta Drug. Remember, Joe, Sam Kennison?
My father used to send me up there to buy cigarettes.
Remember Sam Kennison?
Oh, my God. Take him to where the food is?
Take him to where the food is.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, listen, speaking of Delta Drug, this is how bad it used to be, Mark. My father used to send me up there. He smoked cigarettes, which you should never do. It's just a horrendous, horrible habit. He used to send me to the store. I was like, on my bicycle. I was like 13 to buy cigarettes for him. Mark. And at Delta Drug, they'd sell anything to you. It didn't make a difference. Now, these are for my father. And then, anyway. So the Browns come to town tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern kickoff. It's a huge, Mark, this is a huge game for the Patriots tomorrow because this is the type of game where you win the game, you're pointed in the right direction. You're considered a good, a viable playoff
If you
contender.
win, Chris, you go to 6-4. Now you got a short week and you play Atlanta, which is Atlanta's been playing better. But if you get to 6-4, Chris, you put yourself in position to make a move, a playoff move.
Plus a short turnaround to Atlanta on Thursday night. You better get that win. Mark, if they lose, though.
Well, that's a whole other issue.
What's your feeling on where they are if they lose this game?
Well, if they lose, Chris, you got to figure you're probably not getting in the playoffs. You're a 500 team. You're 5-5. You
maybe 9-8.
Yeah, exactly. If you lose tomorrow, that's probably what you're looking at. But if you can win, and then somehow you can roll into Atlanta and get out of there with a win, and now you're sitting at 7-4, Chris. Jesus, you're going to be sitting real pretty. The next 8 days, 10 days are gonna determine what our season is, Chris. The next 2 games, I believe, will determine what this season will be for us and what.
So then how are they going to win this game? I mean, talk about their running game. The Patriots is what we do. We scout the matchups.
Well, Chris,
the Patriots
I'm a little concerned about
how
our running game right now because we got 2 guys that have concussion protocol. We don't know if either one of them will play.
I doubt very much they're going to play.
So that means your buddy's going to get a lot of play tomorrow, Bolden.
Oh.
And they're going to, Chris, you know what, Chris? They're going to have to use Taylor. They don't have a choice.
Oh, they got to dress
Taylor. Taylor tomorrow. They don't have a choice.
They'll only have 2.
That's it.
They'll only have 2 backs. So, okay,
and
let's
you know
assume...
what somebody was saying, Chris? I read something yesterday on I was reading something that said if by chance Stevenson and Harris are both out, you got Taylor and you have Bolden, but would they try to use Jonnu Smith a little bit like they used to use Cordell Patterson?
Who, by the way, okay, on a side note, I told you several years ago, everybody was busting chops around this region saying, Cordell Patterson, why is everybody so hot on him? He's such a joke. Well, he's like a throw-in guy. And I kept saying, don't re-sign that guy. Keep that guy in your team because every time he touches the ball, he makes something happen. Jonnu Smith is not Cordell Patterson in the backfield.
No.
He's just not. He could come out and catch that bubble and that wheel route like he's been doing and rumble down the sideline for maybe 10 or so yards. Fine. Yeah, do it if that's what you need to do. But the problem is the Browns are good on the edge.
Browns have a good defense, Chris. They have some injuries, but they got a damn good defense.
I mean, they're good. They're good on the edge. So normally you'd walk into this game saying you better be able to run the ball,
Well, Chris, I think
they rank third.
It's going to be a big question mark on whether we can run the ball because it's going to depend on who the hell's back there.
They only allow 84 yards a game. They're third in the league, 3.5 per carry. You got Malik Jackson, Malik McDowell, Anthony Walker in the linebacker position. With those two guys up front, free up Walker to make plays, to say nothing of what they got over there on the edge.
Oh, the edge. Forget it. Forget it.
So I don't know how you're going to run the ball. I know Bolden's not going to be able to run the ball between the tackles. I can see that coming.
I think we have a problem. Listen, and because of what they got on the edges, Chris, to your point, I don't think you can say, okay, you know what? We're going to abandon the run tomorrow and try to throw the ball 40, 45 times because you'll get this kid killed.
Especially with that slug on the left side over there.
That's what I'm saying to you, Chris. You're going to get him
There'll
killed.
be 50 holding calls tomorrow.
Yep. With what they got on the edge, Chris, they're actually win will be called for at least 2 or 3 holding penalties tomorrow. At least.
Tomorrow in post game, I guarantee you, I'm going to be illustrating plays from the offense. Running if concussion before so yeah, the Browns block the ball. So you
yeah. So anyway, so I think what Chris was trying to, I think, get into a little bit was, when we got the ball, okay, so we know we're gonna have an issue running the ball, right? And he was trying to say that he knows he's gonna be illustrating breakdowns in the offensive line, especially on Wynn's side of the ball, because you got Myles Garrett and you got Devonic Clowney and you got those guys coming off the edge and they stunt and they bring a variety of different packages. So your offensive line is going to have to be at the top of their game tomorrow in order to try and protect Jones, because with the running game, listen, the Patriots are going to have to incorporate tight ends tomorrow. They're going to have to throw the football. They don't have a choice. You're not going to rush the ball for 150 yards tomorrow, especially if you don't have your top 2 running backs. So you're going to have to, yes, run the ball. You have to try to keep them honest. Taylor might be a change of pace, right? But you're going to have to try and figure out a way to do more with Jonnu Smith than you've been doing. Can you get Kendrick Bourne on the short seam routes 5, 8 yards, 5, 8 yards, almost like you use him like you would use running plays to try to shorten the yardage up in shortened fields, right? I think that's what you're going to have to do tomorrow with the offense, because I just don't think you're going to be able to run the ball sufficiently enough, Chris. I was just saying.
I know exactly what you were saying. If we were talking about the passing attack for the Patriots.
Yeah, but I was saying, Chris, you're going to have to
get involved.
Yep. And Bourne.
I know Mark pretty well.
No,
Tight
but
ends
Bourne,
have to
I
come
also
back,
said,
ball.
Chris, you may
Yeah.
use Bourne almost like it's a running play where he
Yeah.
can pick up 5-6 yards in the seam, and now you're maybe on first down, and now it's maybe 2nd and 4. So maybe you can't run, but if you can get the 5 and 6 yards on first down through a short passing game, like that may help you to open up things a little bit for this quarterback. Because I was talking, Chris, about Jared and Clowney. Garrett, you're going to get killed.
They're ninth in the league, Mark. They're ninth in the
Yeah.
league, allowing 224 yards a game,
Yeah.
10th with just 6.5 per pass play.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with you. I don't even have to be on the line to know what you're talking about because it's so, yeah, you got to give the edge to them and their secondary.
Yeah.
Mark, the secondary is good.
I
Ward,
think defensively,
Newsome.
Chris, they probably have the edge on our offense overall. I'm thinking, right, with the secondary, the defensive line, and the fact that our running backs, we don't even know if they're going to play.
Yeah, Denzel Ward, Greg Newsom, John Johnson, again, Delpit, Green, Greedy Williams. I mean, their secondary is good. Their front's good. And Jones, all Jones does is throw those little dump downs. He's not going down the field. And I don't, against Ward, you're not going to get anybody down the field to throw the ball to.
No,
so
it's going to be, listen, Chris, tomorrow is going to be one of those games. The defense is going to have to continue to do what they're doing. Special teams is going to have to contribute. I mean, I know we're going to get to the defensive side of the ball in a minute.
Yeah, special teams will have to be good because they're going to have to flip the field for them. Field position is going to make a big every little bit, and you can't have stupid mistakes. You cannot have pre-snap penalties.
Oh, you mean they can't do what they've been doing every week?
No, you can't do it on the first drive where you have 3 false starts. And you're at home. It shouldn't happen at home. And by the way, the last two road games they played in LA and in Carolina, it was basically like a home game. I mean, they were crap load of Patriots fans down there. So there's no excuse for these pre-snap penalties, not in a Patriots team. So offensively, you can't have that happening, throwing the ball. Mark, real quick, because I wasn't on, because talking about Mac Jones, what do you make of this Burns bitching and complaining all week about Jones pulling his ankle?
Listen, that goes back, Chris, believe it or not, to when they were in high school. They were rivals in high school, Chris. And
well, he says, I don't remember Mac Jones. He's full
of shit. They played against each other in high school.
You always remember the quarterback.
Listen, he sacked him in high school, Chris, and he was doing this dance in high school after he sacked him. So you don't remember Mac Jones, you're full of shit. All these guys, listen. And listen, whether Jones thought he had the ball, didn't think he had the ball, listen, you sacked him, you fumbled it. What the hell is it's football? Okay, he grabbed your leg. Big deal. Okay, I understand. No, you don't want to see anybody get injured. But come on. His intent wasn't to injure him. It's a football game. It's physical. There's contact. You made him fumble the ball. He's trying to grab you so you don't jump on the fumble. There's nothing wrong with that. That's football instinct. Jesus Christ. Come on. Stop bitching and complaining. I know you got hurt, and that's an unfortunate thing. And like I said, I don't want to see anybody get hurt.
Yeah, but he was back on the field, Mark. He was back on the field.
Come on, man up. He's acting like come on.
It's not like he went.
It's called professional football.
It's not like he went in the blue tent. I mean, he was back on the field. And was it Bush League or was it a little dirty? Yeah, I'm not gonna. Anyone's gonna sit here and say it wasn't. You lose credibility. He was, but
it was Bush League.
Shit, Mark. That shit goes on all day long. Goes on in the trenches. I mean, do you even understand what goes on in the trenches on a football field?
Chris,
you know how many times that I was punched?
This guy Burns. Why Burns has never done anything that he shouldn't be doing on a football field? Come on,
Mark. I was in a play once where I'm in kind of the pile somewhere. Somebody was taking my ankle, my foot, and doing this to it, like that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the kind of crap. Talk about getting punched where you don't want to get punched constantly on the bottom of the pile. Yeah, listen, that's football, as you say, Mark. So flipping to the other side of the field now, where the Browns have the ball, and by the way, they're running back. They got the same problem.
Yeah,
both of their running backs are out.
They do.
So the difference with them, though, I mean, who's going to run the ball for them, and who do you give the edge to?
I'm going to give the edge, Chris. The way Bondmore's been playing and the way the defensive line has played the last couple of weeks, the fact that they don't have any running backs, Chris, either. I'm going to give the edge to our offense, to our defense. I'm going to give definitely against the run when the Browns are running the ball. I'm going to give the edge to our defensive line and our linebacker Collins. I know Collins is probably not going to play tomorrow.
I think he's going to be. He's doubtful.
Yeah, I don't think he'll play. But the defensive line's been playing much better, Chris, and hopefully we can stop. We can continue to do what we've been doing. Phillips has been playing well. He's been coming up. He's been filling holes with the running game. I give advantage to our defense when they're running the ball.
For all those reasons, the same. And you can't. Cleveland's a good running team, but that's skewed. You can't go by. If you're going to say the same thing about the Patriots, then you say,
Chris, they got no Chubb. No, we know no Chubb and no Hunt.
Say the same thing about the Browns too, then, because they don't have their two horses.
Nope.
So, and I agree with you. The way New England's been playing, they're ranked 15th in the league right now. But that's I wonder what they'd be if you ranked them over the last 3 games.
Yeah.
So I give the same thing. Now, throwing the ball for the Browns. First of all, break down Mayfield.
Chris, Mayfield.
He's a little bit injured, but
he's a little injured. He is. I'm going to use the old Forrest Gump line. Life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, right? Chris, you don't know what you're going to get with this
Joe,
guy.
The medication, Joe.
The medication's kicking in. Jesus
Definitely
Christ.
the medication.
Listen, you don't know but in all seriousness, Chris, you don't know what you're going to get with this guy, right? No. And he's a bit of a head case, right? In all due respect to him, Chris, he has some receivers. He's got Landry. He's got the kid Darius People-Jones. He's got some tight ends,
Hooper,
right? Yeah. He has guys he can throw the ball to. So I think as poorly as their offense has been playing, Chris, in my opinion, you got to put it on Mayfield. And I think that's what was frustrating Beckham so much, because you had weapons, and Mayfield is very inconsistent, Chris.
He'll throw picks if you put him in the position. Now, last week he had a big game. Beckham left. I don't know if it had anything to do with that or whatever. Or just,
I think that was definitely a motivation, Chris. Last week, I told you this after the game was over. I said, Jesus Christ, we should have. If I was a gambling man, I would have put $1 million on them, because you knew they were going to come out and smack somebody, or at least Mayfield was going to have a good game just to try to stick it to Beckham.
No, I agree. But with Mayfield, you're right. You don't know which guy is going to. And typically when they have a good game and he has a good game, he follows it up with a bad one. Yeah. Sort of like when the guy who used to play here would have a bad game, you would always see it. You never had 2 in a row, ever.
No.
But with this guy, if you put we talk about, you give the edge to the Patriots in the running attack, right? But when you put the ball in Mayfield's hands, he's going to make mistakes. Typically he will. So typically he'll make mistakes. He usually does. And with the secondary, Mark, the Patriots secondaries have been playing better and better. I've given them a lot of crap about their tackling. Okay. But the schemes that they're employing, the schemes that are going on out there between the defensive front and the pressure packages as it relates to the secondary, and they're disguising their coverages, they've been doing that really well. Now I get it. Jets, Carolina, I understand, but they did it against a quality team in the Chargers, quality offense, and they can do it really well. Miles Bryant, I think, is playing well. Obviously, J.C. Jackson, he's the man. He's the guy. You're going to get, if they put him on Landry all day,
Landry's a guy, Chris. Landry's a guy, Chris, has always hurt us, though.
Yeah, and Mills is playing so much better too. But again, the key to them is they always have 50,000 people on their injury report. Okay, and so we just look at the defensive side of the ball. Hightower's on there, which again I'm not, but Jalen Mills is on there with a thigh. Again, limited in practice. So you can't lose that guy. Mark Jonas, his name Williams. Okay, you can't put Williams on this field anymore.
No, you can't. You can't put him out there. Another wasted 2nd-round draft pick. Don't get me started on that.
Yeah,
but no, you're right, Chris. You can't put him on the field. You really can't. Miles Bryant, listen, and now the other kid isn't on the injury report. Is he active? The kid from Ohio State, the rookie?
Ward? Ward is off.
Name?
He's off the injury list.
He's off, right?
So, but I think he was off last week, and he was inactive.
He was inactive, so I'm thinking maybe you could give him a little bit of play in the slot this week.
You know, and that's another thing I don't understand. I just don't understand Belichick. He comes off the injury list. Get him on the team. You traded for him. Let's go.
You know, I think, Chris, he could give you a little bit of play probably in the slot. I think he'll give you more in the slot than Williams. Jesus.
Yeah, well, for sure. Williams, I mean, you give him more in the slot than Williams. I mean, Christ, he's terrible. But maybe Miles Bryant can kick over and play a little safety.
Yeah.
If Ward's out there playing that. So again,
and I think eventually, Chris, that kid Ward, it could be a safety.
Yeah. So who do you give it to? The edge.
I'm going to give the advantage, Chris, to the Patriots secondary only because of the inconsistency of Mayfield. And I think that you're right, Chris. The way Mills and Jackson have been playing and the way they've looked, I'm going to give the advantage to the Patriots.
And so special teams, I still give it to the Patriots because even though Olszewski's got a concussion, I don't know if he's going to play, but I still give it to the kicking game. Can't give it to Cleveland.
And Chris, if Gunner doesn't play, Jesus, I hope they put J.J. Taylor back there.
They have to.
And not Bolden.
Have to. Oh, my God. Well, Bolden wouldn't be there for punt returns.
No, for punts, for punts, you got to use Taylor.
Got to. So, so that's Joe. Who we sponsoring this by? The Pats preview. What are we going? I'm like
Pats Nation right down at the bottom.
There you go. Patriots preview sponsored, brought to you by the Pats Nation, the Real Patriots postgame show. 30 minutes following every Patriots game. Mark, it's time for that 2-minute warning. So, Joe, let's have it. We'll wrap it up. So, Mark, how do you see this tomorrow? And what's your wrap up? Could be anything. I don't know. Who knows? Could be medication.
No, I think, Chris, the Patriots, it's going to be hard fought. It's going to be I think the defense is going to have to maybe even score once again for them to win this game. I'm going to go Patriots 23, Cleveland 17. 23-17, hard fought win, Patriot win.
I got it a little similar. So yeah, my wrap up is same thing for everything we talked about. 20-17 Patriots. That's how I see it going tomorrow. So 2-minute warning was presented by, again, the Pats Nation, Patriots, Real Patriots post-game show. And so listen, Mark, we're at that time again. Got some people to thank. I want to thank the people at Special Sauce Podcast, Startup Finance, and Drive Yourself to Success. SpecialSaucePodcast.com, Jag Media Productions. Want to thank Studio 42 Designs for all your graphic design needs, Studio42Designs.com. And Corso Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm, CorsoLawGroup.com. Allow us to be your voice. Join us tomorrow for, again, the Pats Nation, the only Patriots postgame show worth watching. Mark and I will be on 30 minutes following the Patriots-Browns game. We will have MacMania, Coach's Corner, and your Sunday Stiff. And listen, make sure you tune in next Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, for Corso and Catone, the real deal New England feel. And listen, get ready, because Corso and Catone is inviting in the Pats Nation, Mark. So
next week, right?
That's going to be an interesting show. The Patriots postgame show, as you know, the Patriots are traveling to the Falcons Thursday night for an 8:20 kickoff, and it's just too far past Mark's bedtime. The medication's already kicked in, so we're going to our post-game show. Plus, we want all of you to be, lively and ready to go. So we're going to handle that post-game show during Corso and Catone, and we'll have all of our usual MacMania, Sunday Stiff, Coach's Corner, and for you Corso and Catone fans, fear not, we will also have your favorites, including Heated Hotline and Catone's Comments, which is always a favorite, and a few more surprises. So you don't want to miss that. So here we go, Mark. For Mark Catone, Joe Guarnieri, I'm Chris Corso. Enjoy the game, everyone. It's a big one.